So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host Hector, and today we're gonna talk about a band that I recently discovered. I never heard of them. They're called Throw the Fight, and their new album is called Strange World. And this is a band that the best way to describe it is an alternative rock band with hooks for days. I'm telling you, all the songs on this album, it's a 9-song, 25 to 26 minutes. So it's a short album, but every song has some great hooks that really grab you, and not every band can do that. So kudos to the band for great hooks. And these are the type of songs that, like, almost every song on this album could be a single. They have that catchiness to them. And I never had heard of the band, so it came up on my feed. I'm like, I wonder who they are. I listen to them and I see that they put out a couple of EPs in the 2008s, and then in 2010s they have a few albums. So, but I never heard of them. But the way that the music sounds, there's like compare them to bands like Egypt Central, Otherwise, but they also have the catchiness and hookiness of a band like Breaking Benjamin, and maybe a little bit of some other modern rock alternative bands, because there's a lot of those bands that pop up in the beginning of the 2000s and 2010s. So what makes them different? So to me, they're from Minneapolis. Something that I like about them is how they use the hooks to their favors in the songs. There's some songs to me that stood out a little bit more than others. So let's talk about some tracks, shall we? So the band has, on this album, there's 9 tracks, and there's some tracks that are more slower, like in those, like, not power ballad, but like alternative rock, more like ballady type of way, but not a ballad. It has its great guitars on a song like Lost Without You. And Lost Without You, the lyrics can be a little bit cheesy, but it's all about that track that you can't live without that person. I'm lost without you. Yes, we've heard this countless times, but I couldn't find myself like when I was listening to this track over and over again to review, like really getting into the chorus and finding myself like humming to the chorus and singing. So hey, they did something right. So that's a great track that has that radio airplay value that this can be played in those rock stations for mainstream commercial music, and it would fit right in. My favorite song on the album is Sorry Not Sorry, and that one is more fast-paced, but when the singer's going like, I'm sorry, not sorry, oh, that hookiness, the way of how they deliver those vocals they're really great. And yes, this album has that sound that is like very modern production. You can tell that it's been very, very produced. So if you don't like those modern sounding bands, you may not like this, but I like different stuff, and I think that for this type of rock, it really sounds better when it sounds glossy. It sounds produced, it sounds pristine, it sounds pretty. This is not like that type of band that needs to sound raw all the time, or like super aggressive. No, the vocals usually are pretty straightforward, and there's more clean singing than harsher vocals. And when they do like harsher vocals, they're not like really like guttural vocals. They're like more like post-hardcore, and you can understand them. And a song that really has more of the harsher vocals on this album is Hourglass. And Hourglass is a pretty good number, and I like it. I really like the way that the cleans go with the harsher vocals, because they use them in a way that none of them overtake the song, and it really has that commercial appeal to it. Another song that's a more like alternative power ballad, if you will, is Lost in the Lights. And again, more hooks. I'm telling you, this band lives for hooks. And Snake Mountain is also very catchy, and they end up with Wake Up, and that has like more of like an electronic tinge to it. I felt a little bit of like there's some parts in the vocals where I hear like a female, and I don't know, I remember like when Korn did that album with Skrillex, that type of sound. So the tracks, I thought that there were no weak tracks. You know, it starts very good with Cover Your Tracks and Obey. And when I heard Obey, I thought, because you know, Bring Me the Horizon has a song called Obey, but they do not have the same chorus. And that's another band that they do this type of sound. But obviously, Bring Me the Horizon started doing that sound more recently. But yeah, Strange World is a very enjoyable album. Yes, this is not reinventing the wheel. And if you do not like that modern alternative rock, you won't like this. But if you like those catchy, hooky choruses with some modern sounding production and guitars, you will like this. You know, it's 25 minutes, so it's short. This is a great album to put, like if you're on a treadmill and you want something to pump you up, this would be the album for you. And, you know, Throw the Fight, I enjoyed it. I think it's a band that I'm going to listen to more of their music, because this is, you know, a well-produced album with some tracks that are very memorable and earwormy. Yes, lyrically, there may be some cheese to some of the songs, but that won't retract. And the only thing I would say is a negative is that, you know, I would like a little bit more variation in sound, because there's a lot of bands that sound like this, but Throw the Fight does it very good. But if they can do something to stand out from the crowd, I think that would benefit the band in the long run. So those are my thoughts on Throw the Fight and Strange World. So what did you think of this album? What are your favorite tracks? Comment, I would really want to know. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like, and do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people. So until next time, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.